Okay, I'm gonna let all this dialogue play out because I'm supposed to be doing the Institute ending for the benefit of those who are interested in seeing this. Alright, so here we go.
Sean.
You know, in all my years, I've never set foot outside the Institute. Not once. Since the day they brought me here. I've never had a reason. But now, this just confirms the truth I've always known. The Commonwealth is dead. There's no future here. The only hope for humanity lies below.
Some air fresheners, a new coat of paint, and it'll all be good as new.
If only it were that simple. Standing here, I'm reminded of how fortunate I am that I was spared a life in this wasteland. I know that to you, I was kidnapped from that vault. In truth, the Institute rescued me. Both of us, really.
They kept me alive, too.
They did, indeed. I was the perfect candidate. An infant with uncorrupted DNA. But if something were to go wrong, if I died, well, the Institute realized a contingency plan was prudent. Another source of pre-war DNA, preferably related to their primary subject. It only made sense that my parents should fill that role. So you were kept alive and safe within the vault. I'll admit, when I had you released from Vault 111, I had no expectations that you'd survive out here in all this. To not only do so, but manage to find me. To infiltrate the Institute itself. Extraordinary.
So it was you. You let me out.
Yes. It was my decision. Certainly it was no longer necessary to keep you suspended. Well, I suppose I wanted to see what would happen. An experiment of sorts. I had no idea what kind of man you were, you see. Would the Commonwealth corrupt you? As it has everything else. Would you even survive? Perhaps most curious to me, would you, after all this time, attempt to find me? And now I know the answer.
I'm getting kind of tired here, Daddy-O. You want to hurry it up here?
That's all this is to you? All I am to you? Just another experiment?
No, that's not all. But still, I'm glad it turned out the way it did. Soon, I hope you'll understand. Everything I've done has been for the future. A future which I hope is not in jeopardy after recent events. Bunker Hill did not go well for us. Would you care to explain what happened?
Okay, we were ambushed.
We were totally ambushed. They were waiting for us.
You can imagine that I find that very hard to believe, given that all the intelligence leading up to this indicated we'd taken them by surprise. Bunker Hill was to cement your place as a valuable asset to the Institute. It will now only raise suspicions. And to see the Brotherhood of Steel involved in this? They had no way of knowing what was going on. I will refrain from sharing the outcome with the Directorate for the moment. Things are already in motion that this would only derail. Speaking of which, it's time for you to become more involved in the future of the Institute. I'd like you to join me inside. The Directorate is meeting, and you should be there. I'll be waiting. I've seen enough. It's time to
Okay,
go back.
so Mankind Redefined is just a meeting with the eggheads of the Institute. Let's just compile all this story schmory together and do that right now.
From what I hear, that rogue synth at Libertalia was a real menace. Glad it's back where it belongs.
Yeah.
Let's get this directorate meeting over with before we speak further. Well, it's important.
All right, come on. Pick up the pace here, Dad. Let's go. Jeez, who catered this? Not even a bottle of water? Come on. What the hell? You're the Institute.
Good, we're all here. I think it's time we begin.
Sir, excuse me, but what exactly is he doing here?
Okay,
We'll
you're
address
dead.
that issue. But there are other subjects that require our attention first. The level of unrest in the Commonwealth continues to rise, as we're all aware. Your report.
All Institute facilities remain completely secure with the exception of one notable breach. Otherwise, internally things are as tight as they've ever been. Dr. Ayo has been keeping an eye on things topside.
Yes, Watchers show no additional threats beyond those previously identified. Boston International Airport remains occupied, with Brotherhood presence noted at several other points throughout the Commonwealth. Intelligence suggests that this railroad continues to operate and is becoming more ambitious. SRB agents are monitoring all known situations, sir.
Very good, thank you. It's clear that our safety needs to be the primary concern going forward. To that end, where are we on Phase 3?
Sir, are you sure this is the time to be discussing it? Given, well, considering all parties present?
Ah, yes, that's true. Have you heard anything about Phase 3?
Of course.
Really? Well, there's no shame in being out of the loop, as it were. The project has been classified for quite a long time. Power is, as I'm sure you've seen above ground, a very valuable commodity. I'm not talking about some abstract concept of control. I mean real, tangible power. The kind that keeps the lights on. With every advance the Institute makes, our need for raw power increases. Many compromises and sacrifices have been made over the years to allow progress to continue.
In this world, I'm sure compromise is necessary.
Quite right. For far too long, we've been dependent on others. On our surroundings. That time is over. Phase 3 is simply the activation of a nuclear reactor that can provide enough power to the Institute now and forever. It will ensure not just our survival, but our prosperity.
Can you tell me more about this reactor?
Certainly. It was originally built for the Commonwealth Institute of Technology before the war, but was only for testing. Over the years, we've advanced the technology, made a great many improvements, and are finally nearly ready to activate it. The reactor is close to ready, but recent tests have determined we have a few tasks ahead of us. Thus, we come to Phase 3, and to how you will help.
Sir,
Yes, Dr. Ayo. Previously, we would rely on Kellogg for above-ground operations, yes? Well, he is gone. While I'm not overly fond of putting my own father in harm's way, he has proven more than capable of handling himself.
yes, but...
This is not a matter for debate. Now, there is one more subject that requires discussion.
I don't know that this is the time.
Dr. Holdren, it is time. Please. As I'm sure several of you are already aware, I have been under Dr. Volkert's care for some time. I'm sorry, this is difficult for me. Our best efforts have failed. Every experimental treatment we could devise has been unsuccessful. I'm sorry to say I am dying.
What?
Can't be
Please,
serious.
everyone, please. I am sorry. This is not how I wanted to tell you, but we're running out of time.
You're dying?
I'm afraid so. A very aggressive form of cancer. Believe me when I say we've done everything we can. We can talk more later. Right now, the future of the Institute is at stake. The Institute cannot survive without leadership. The Directorate must continue to govern with the best interest of all in mind. To that end, I am naming my father as my successor.
Oh, boy.
You can't be serious!
Really?
Seems a poor choice.
How can you
Okay,
possibly
everybody's
justify
dead.
this? He isn't one of us. He isn't even a scientist.
I'm gonna kill you
Ignoring
twice.
your borderline insubordinate tone, I will simply say this. The Institute has enough scientists. What it needs is a leader.
Yeah, what he
I
said.
believe my father has already proven himself more than capable in that regard. This will conclude this meeting. Thank you.
The latest synth generation is just amazing. Those
Haha.
guys in robotics are working.
Y'all is my bitches.
Our technology must seem pretty advanced by your standards.
Get a move on, bitch. Come on. I want to talk to Daddy-O. Let's go. Atta girl. You two
Humanity's
sawbones, bitch.
future
Come on.
is taking root right here.
Come on. Get a move on. You're staying? Is that where... Okay. Let's talk to
I
Dad.
couldn't be more proud of what we've achieved.
I had no idea.
I know this is... well, it's a lot to take in at once.
I'm sorry, Father. I hope it wasn't too presumptuous of me to put you in charge without even asking first.
I can do the job.
Of course you can. That's why I made the decision. There's no question that some of the Directorate and the Institute at large will need reassurances about your appointment. That's why I'd like you to take charge of this latest operation. Dr. Fillmore can fill you in on the details. There are hard decisions ahead for all of us, but for you especially. I know that you'll do the right thing.
There we go. Mankind Redefined.
I have
Down and
every
out.
confidence you'll make a fine director.
That's right. Bow down, bitch. Dr. Fillmore is that way, on the same level.
Have you seen J522 around? He didn't show up for duty today.
J522. Okay, let me get this straight here. Was that the one I killed at Libertalia, or was that the one I killed at Bunker Hill?
Busy day for you, isn't it?
Yeah, I know.
Well, it's about to get busier. You're going to lead this operation, I'm told.
Absolutely.
All right, let's go over the details. Recent events have upset our timetable. Getting the reactor online has become our #1 priority. It needs to be running, well, yesterday. We're going to have to cut some corners. I'm not thrilled, but it means we'll need to rely on some pre-war tech. You're going to the mass fusion building to acquire a beryllium agitator for us.
Naturally, a beryllium agitator. Want to go over the details of that?
What's a beryllium agitator?
The details would be lost on you. No offense. The point is, it'll allow us to boost the reactor's power and get it running sooner than planned. You just keep me safe. I'll worry about the agitator.
I don't think so. You're just a useless NPC. No offense.
No way. You're not going. You'd be a liability.
Well, that's about the most insulting thing I've heard in a while.
Yeah,
Okay,
touche.
you're on your own then. Good luck. Not to put more pressure on you, but we have to move quickly on this. Word is that the Brotherhood is nosing around the area. We don't want them getting the agitator before we do. Head on up to the relay, and they'll get you over to mass fusion in a flash. Pun sort of intended.
Okay, now, speaking of bitch, this next mission is going to be one. Like, totally. With my rules of engagement here. My survival plus rules of engagement. So this is going to require some very careful preparation. First thing I want to do is go back to Hangman's Alley and get organized with the weaponry I want to take along with me. Shazam, and that's that. What is my carry weight like? I still have Mysterious Serum active. Shields up, Scotty. I have just enough carry weight to bring along another mini nuke, because if I need more, I think I have 20 back at the base. But we're going to bring along close to half a dozen for this mission. Seriously. And that's just going to be just enough to get the job done. Are you coming on board? I don't want is... We'll take these bottles and the jet. What's your story? Psycho and herb stimulant. Good. Excellent. If I get a good sleep, I'm going to wear off my mysterious serum. So let's go back to Hangman's Alley first. And I'm thirsty. And hungry. Back at Hangman's Alley. Let me just quickly dump off here to lighten the load, and then I'll take a sleep. And we're going to call it. That'll work. Sheffield? Dude! Up.
Hey,
Up and at him. Come on. Up.
What do you think about coming to work for me?
Oh, that'll get him up. Psych! No, I just wanted to sleep. We can sleep 5 hours in this bed. Let's do that. See if we can wear off some of our tiredness or sleep off some of our tiredness.
If we want to win the people's
That
hearts,
didn't work,
I
but
just
that's
said I
okay.
shot my
I'm gonna
liver
call it. Coming up
and
next, the
across the
ridiculously
Commonwealth.
tough mass fusion quest. That's gonna be totally wild. Don't miss it. I'd like to thank you all very much for watching, and if you thought this video was remotely entertaining and or informative, please subscribe to my channel to get more videos like this hot off the press. All right, that's it. See you next video.